Yo, 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 it's ODB, our lifestyle podcast, and gonna hit you guys with another flip through issue 26, Dan Marchese's killer red Nissan on the cover. And we had John Tondro on the podcast, who was the owner of Stage 1 Customs, which if you remember the ads, if you remember this cover, you'll know John Tondro and his name, of course. Thinking back, I want to say it was episode 185. It seems like a while ago, but it might have been 135. I can't remember. But no doubt, if you're new to us, look us up, OLP, via your favorite podcast app or Our Lifestyle Podcast. You can also Google like John Tondro, Our Lifestyle Podcast, and that'll land you on Podbean site. And then you can listen to that individual issue or that individual episode, or it'll at least get you in the right direction if you want to go back and listen. We often get questions on how can I go back and listen to older episodes, and you can do that through Podbean. Whether you go to the website or on Android or iPhone, download the Podbean app. You sign up for a free account. It just takes a moment. And then boom, search OLP, and then you can go all the way back to the beginning. I want to give a huge shout out before we jump into this flip through to the homie Dizzy. He made these amazing cards for my co-host Biggity Mike the Mayor. Come by, see me. If you see me at LST, let me know. I'll have some of these and I'll hook you up. Just a little bit of a nod to Mr. Co-host Biggity Mike the Mayor. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. You have Shartsis, who shot this cover, and Steve Stillwell would still be the editor at this point. I talked to Steve on Facebook the other day, and we're hoping to have him on in the coming weeks, maybe the next month or so. So, this famous BF Goodrich ad again, classic. And you know what? Let me jump back here real quick. You got the double trucks, but I was talking to Ron Perkins. He's here from Hammered Weekend Wear last night. And, man, you look at that red truck, Dan's truck, and with the size wheels, you have the fender chrome. You've got Stage 1 Customs on the windshield banner. Of course, you got the chick. You've got the Mini Truckin sticker, which we also saw that on Ballistic cover. The Phantom Grill. I mean, just a really awesome truck. Now, both of these trucks are awesome. Here you have the yellow Nissan Hardbody. And to me, this is just, it captures the essence, you know, with the super low truck. And it's kind of like at the time, the old school look and then the newer school look, which was body dropped, 15-inch wheels, of course, billets. And, man, just an awesome cover. In my opinion, July 1993 to be specific, since I didn't mention that. Still got the original Mini Truckin logo, of course. So X-Tang, big advertisers at the time. You see Stillwell's name there on the upper left. Shartsis, Courtney Hollowell, Brian McCormick, Randall Jackman. It'll be pretty cool once we have Steve on, because we could talk about trucking, mini trucking, street trucks. They went over to work at another magazine as well. This truck here, you can see the dash in it. It looks very similar to the truck that Randy owns now in NC, Florida. Bow number 2 NC, Bow 2 NC on Instagram, the big homie. Every time I see that, I always think of it being Tuck Lugs. But, of course, Genro was the master and did a lot of that cool stuff. Here you see on the cover are 3 extremely hard bodies. First, Dan Marchese's Ultra dropped red Nissan. Second, Sean Guy's out of sight yellow extra cab. And third, the Vicarious Karen Berger. And then capture on film credit goes to Shartsis. Special thanks to the generous Public Works Department of California, right? Placentia? I don't know how to say it. For the use of the props. So again, you got the prop right there, the tank. So since this is in 4K, you can go back and check this stuff out. So he says, okay, time to switch gears. I started off this editorial by telling you that Mini Truckin Magazine was the first published in '88. I sincerely doubt that all the current readers saw the first issue. However, I am sincerely proud of many of you who become dyed-in-the-wool mini truck enthusiasts. So it's pretty cool, and we'll talk to him about that history of, you know, his early days at Truckin, and you know, some of the history on you know, why did they decide to start Mini Truckin. You know, hear it from him, the guy that was at the table when it all happened. And I say that because we would ask, again, as I mentioned, another plug, definitely go out, subscribe to the podcast. Thanks to everyone that continues to listen. We've been on a warpath of dropping episodes every Friday for well over 2 years, 2 years straight. You see Bulletin, Traders, who didn't have those catalogs, man. I kept most of my old stuff, but some of those old catalogs I do not have any longer. I wish I did. If you guys know me, I'm pretty much a pack rat. I keep everything, but love the artwork there. Sometimes you can't keep it all. Suicide Swing. Here you got the Stillin ad. Now, the last podcast we had Lucky from Canada on, and he owns the Toyota that was on the cover of issue 18 that had Stillin across the windshield banner. He owns Too Many Mods and many other badass you know, trucks and bikes and lowriders. You know, the guy's really kind of a super enthusiast. So check out that episode. It was 224 we just posted. So here you have Double Trouble. I've always loved this truck. The colors of it, the stance of it, the wheels. It really just, man, I would drive that thing every day just like that. Here you've got the Dodge D50. Those are kind of rare. You don't see those a lot, nor did we see them featured a lot. Here's another Dodge D50. When I see that, I think of you know, the Mitsu, which is the truck that got me into mini trucking. The local guy. The rest is history. Also love, as I mentioned before, going back and looking at some of the prices. You know, and when we were younger, we were probably like, oh man, you know, $1,000, but you're thinking, man, $250 a wheel. It's crazy to me to see what people pay for wheels these days. We've all had to do it at some point or another. Some, like our homie Josh Ellis, he's bought more wheels than anyone I know. But he's settled on the best. Our friends over at Colorado Custom Wheels, CC Cycle Wheels, they're also known as, but the Colorado Custom on Instagram, or coloradocustom.com. They not only make wheels, they do one-off wheels, and they also do rear view mirrors and steering wheels. Okay, I've always been a big fan of looking back at this, not only from a history standpoint, but even when these issues would come, I always like to see the different club names, but I also liked seeing the artwork. And you know, Ground Control, The Untouchables, Nevada's Most Wanted, you name it. Pretty cool to see the window art, which is what it's titled. Diamond Tilt Your Hood. We always give Mike a hard time about the more mods he needs to do on his truck. Maybe he'll do a Diamond Tilt Hood, man. Pretty cool mod. All right, here you have Wyatt Strange Road Trip. And for any true mini truckers, you know that Wyatt Strange was the alias that Courtney and I believe Clint Walker, I don't know who else maybe wrote under that. I mean, maybe the mini trucking staff in general. But classic times, classic stories. And it's pretty cool to be able to go back and kind of read those. Copper Gang. Snug lid. If you hear some banging around, Ron's over there in the trailer shipping out merchandise from Hammered, HAMMERD, weekendwear.com. He's getting ready to leave here in a couple of days. You see the Relaxed Atmosphere logo there on the back. That almost looks like a, I don't know if the tint, I can't tell if it's the tint or if it's a flex window, flex through. And then you see Traders there. But Ron is headed out, as we are, to Texas in the next week or so. He's going to actually leave much earlier and kind of gallivant around out there. And we're going to leave on Thursday, drive as far as we can, stay the night somewhere, and then get up and leave Friday morning, finish the rest of the drive to Conroe, Texas. All right, Spring Splash 93. So you see Gendro's truck here. Amazing. Can't wait to get to that one. A lot of history with it. Super low trucks. I mean, even all those years later, we're nearing 30 years ago. Man, between here and 96, 97, 98, I mean, you got some really, really epic golden era time period. You see Art of Noise there in mini trucking. You know, the heyday, some will call it. I call it the golden era. This reminds me of the one that MIC built that eventually went overseas. I don't know if it is the same truck. When Sean Mahaney was there, and, you know, rest in peace. Of course, Sean Mahaney was pretty much MIC from a fabricator standpoint. Looks like the truck right there. It's got to be with that grill and those wheels. You got the river runs. For anyone that didn't get a chance to participate in these, kind of gives you some insight to the good times. I couldn't imagine going to a show these days and seeing guys playing volleyball, but hey, that was the style. Here you have the debut Brian Gendro's chopped 75 Toyota Hilux. Amazing truck. Again, it debuted here, Spring Splash 93. And it was shot for the cover. Gonna have to get Brian on at some point. Here you see Shartsis and more River Run awesomeness. You got Notables, just classic times, and you got the rest of the Spring Splash 9 tray. So you can kind of go through that if you want to. But yeah, man, I appreciate everyone kind of really coming here and watching these videos and you know, all the love and support. We appreciate it. Here you got Double Trouble. So you got the Nissan, so Sean Guy's 90 Nissan King Cab, and then the Stage 1 built Dan Marchese Laguna Nigel, I think it is, 89 Hardbody. And really, again, just super classic. You see all the stuff there for the droves, the batteries. You got the gas tank up in the, really kind of that was what they were doing at the time to get the trucks low. They weren't necessarily back halving and all that stuff that we do today or that we see today. Really love the grill on this. I mean, even with the corner markers, I mean, it just looks classic. And that shot right there, you know, with a little bit of a camber, perfect though. Just simpler times, and really a lot of us got into the mini truck lifestyle around that time. So here you've got Frank's Wheel Polishing of San Diego is responsible for the flawless shine on the 15x7 wheels. Of course, not all color. They don't go to all color and for a while. And here you see the classic stance of this Mini, the stereo, the switch box. Just, man, awesome stuff. And I continue to see things going back to that, our roots, if you will. Here you've got Suicide Swing continued. And check it out. I've posted this one before, but the Mazdas. So you got an 89B 2200. New Choice Minis, they are still around. Low limo. You got Shartsis Shot It. And then, of course, Shane Barnes, Spring, Texas. A lot of mini truckers out there. Really another cool truck. Your ground effects, really super clean bed treatment. Nice graphics. Killer interior. A little bit of sculpture on the door panels. Classic stuff, man. I mean, imagine being back in '93 and you get this issue and you're just like, this is where it was at. I mean, everything. Here, I give your Toyota an altitude adjustment with Chisholm's Simple Slam. Remember that name from the parts industry. And then here you got the double trouble Isuzus. So 89, Richard from Vegas, the Isuzu Pup. And then you got Kenny, 92 Isuzu. And I've told you guys before, the truck that I kind of fell in love with as a teenager had a mural on the tailgate. And then, of course, here you got the Ultra Mod. You got the windshield wipers on the headlights, though. Shartsis shot these as well. And on the orange one, you can see the checkered pattern there in the black and white photo. Looks like tape almost. But two really cool classic minis. And there's still more to go. And got to give a huge shout out to Scrapin the Coast. Man, he is lining up some amazing mini trucks. There's actually going to be cash awards this year for some of the high-end minis. And we would ask that if you get a chance, Biloxi, Mississippi, it's the last weekend in June. Come on out to Scrapin the Coast. Even if you're not going to compete, the admission to get in is not bad. You've got air-conditioned space. You have outdoors. You have plenty of vendors, plenty of food vendors. Really, once you get to the Coliseum early that morning, there's really no need to leave until you're ready to head back to the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Or, of course, if you're peeling out of town. Love this thing. Super clean. Live life topless. What? The obligatory in front of the house, tilt bed up, girlfriend in the shot, or the owner. Right there. That's some 90s for you, y'all. All right, so you had the Sherwood. I remember seeing this ad. 88 to 98 step side. Some killer audio back in the day. And then you got the Sweepstakes. Of course, you didn't want to cut these out if you're trying to keep your magazine complete. Mickey Thompson Motorsports Expo. And this show coverage is pretty cool. You see the hardbody here, and they kind of mixed in the actual event itself. And then you've got this famous limo Mazda. Probably the longest mini truck ever built. My guess. I mean, dude, things like for days. And then this Blazer. Blazers were super popular in the day, but man, the graphics, the look, the setup, man, excellent. Then you've got the branding of mini trucking right there. This one seems like it's a longer issue, but it's just so much quality in it. Spending a little bit more time on each of these features. Here you have 89. Again, really cool. I mean, I like the color combo. Was never the biggest fan of those roll pans with those lights, but I think it goes well with this one. Nice time period piece. Here you've got the 89 Ford Ranger. Steve, his truck there from Michigan. Ground effects. You can see the bed treatment, dude. That massive rear wheels, man, taking up a lot of bed space there. You got Mario's Blazer with the wires. Looks like it's got a little bit of a skateboard ramp there on the back. Pretty cool. And here you've got Mike's 89 Ford Bronco 2. Not the most super popular kind of mini truck, but we did see some of the Ford Broncos. There's a couple of body dropped ones. Those Ford Bronco 2s, rather. Didn't see a lot of them, though. What's in the CD changer? You see here, Jimmy Cliff, Boys to Men, Cooley High, who doesn't remember that? You see the rest, Def Leppard, Metallica, PM Dawn, STP, Stone Temple Pilots. Hopefully you guys are getting, a nice little throwback here, man, to some of the earlier days. And if you can leave a thumbs up, we appreciate it. If you want to consider subscribing, it helps us. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting a lot closer, and we're going to continue. The recent video that we did was the behind the build with Ron Perkins from Hamburg Weekend Wear. And that's important to us because instead of just doing the magazine flip-throughs, we'll be able to talk to some of the folks behind the builds, kind of a spinoff of VH1's Behind the Music. And we'll see how much traction we can continue to gain there with doing that series, if you will, through YouTube. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to Street Trucks. They're going to be live streaming a lot of shows this year, including Lone Star Throwdown next week in Conroe. We're going to be doing interviews with individuals, builders, just different individuals at the show. If you can, and if you haven't subscribed yet, look, Jason Barnes, Tampa, Florida. If you have not subscribed yet to Street Trucks via YouTube, you can also follow them on Facebook, but I would highly suggest that you turn on the bell notification with Street Trucks because they have committed to streaming 16 events this year. They've asked me to MC those, as many as I can actually attend, and I really appreciate that opportunity. And we will be live streaming at these shows. So if you don't have an opportunity to get out to some of these events, like Scrapin the Coast, like Orange Beach Invasion, and many others, please consider subscribing to Street Trucks. And again, I'm not even asking you to subscribe to the magazine, which is awesome. Subscribe, if nothing else, to their YouTube channel. And again, we're talking about free content. Free 99. You know, this truck, badass, super low. Always loved that graphic towards the bottom of the door, which was kind of the style. I was talking to Josh Ellis recently, and we were talking about that, how that style was really prevalent during that time. If you look at K-Daddy's famous truck and those, instead of the graphics all over. And then here was Cal Truck Jam, August 1st. And this is the 7th annual. So it would have been, so I think it started in 86, if I remember correctly. And a lot of folks don't realize that it was that long ago. And rest in peace, the founder and the owner of those shows, he recently passed away. And it was sad news. I think Bob Hayes had shared it. And we'll be hopefully talking more about Cal Truck and Spring Truck Jam in the near future, hopefully this year on the podcast, the legacy of that show. So here you go. Basically, July 93, again, Shartsis shot the cover. Try to say that 5 times fast. Mike Shartsis shot the cover, and it's epic. Many of you know this one. Many of you remember buying it from the grocery store, or if you were subscribed. Thank you again for all the support. If you can, go out to Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, you name it, Google Podcasts, I think iHeartRadio, any of those platforms that have podcasts available. You could often just search OLP or Our Lifestyle Podcast, and you'll see our epic artwork with the lifted and the mini on that cover art for our episodes or for our podcast. Please subscribe, and we appreciate you guys. And again, check me out at Lone Star. Hit me up. I'll have these in my pocket. Get one of these collector's items. Thanks to Don Dizzy Davis from The Spark Show for all the help. ODB, we at you. Peace.